I was in a deep, deep depression in this house while the splits were happening, while the divorces were happening. Every split happened when we were living in this hash knife house.
Hi, besties. I just finished watching the latest episode of Sister Wives, and honestly, not much really happened. A couple of people moved, but not even at the same time. Mykelti's move was back in July 2024, while Kody and Robyn's move didn't happen until around November 2024. So, like 5 months apart. There was a tornado, but of course, everyone made it out safely. It still turned into a whole production of drama for drama's sake. And naturally, there was the token shredded flat tire, because apparently it's not a Sister Wives trip unless a tire gets destroyed. It's almost like someone plans it just to have a storyline. Then there's Kody and Robyn's new opulent house. The main reason they sold Coyote Pass seems to be that they needed the money for this over-the-top home. They even admitted it's way beyond their budget, but they financed it anyway because Kody just had to have his dream mansion. And the whole time I was watching, all I could think was, where is Dayton? Like, seriously, where did he go? They keep saying this new house is 40% larger, but that's not really accurate. Their previous McMansion was about 4,500 square feet, and the new one is 5,500. So it's only about 1,000 square feet bigger. Sure, maybe the rooms are a bit larger, or there's a guest house, which is somewhere between 1,200 and 2,000 square feet, but it's not a massive difference. While Kody and Robyn brag about their luxury home and justify selling Coyote Pass because they needed the money, I can't help but think the real story is happening off camera. Especially since over the weekend, Maddie was finally on Instagram answering questions about her dad. And it was so refreshing to hear someone actually telling the truth. So Maddie recently did one of those Instagram Q&A sessions, the Ask Me a Question kind, and things got real interesting. Someone commented on one of her stories and she replied, "Your dad saying lies about you for the entire world to hear teaches you fast." I guess I'm in this kind of mood today, all the time. That pretty much says it all. She's clearly still hurt and angry, and honestly, who can blame her? Meanwhile, Kody's still out here saying stuff like, she's going back to a state that hates me and worrying about lawyers or the government getting involved. It's just more paranoia and self-pity. He even said something about not trusting her and being afraid of her teaming up with others against him. At this point, it's pretty obvious there's absolutely no chance Madison will ever reconcile with Kody and Robyn. Not now, not ever. And from everything we've seen and heard, it's not hard to understand why. Someone also asked Maddie for advice about setting boundaries during the newborn stage, like how to handle family when you're a first-time mom. Her advice was solid. Make it about you. Say things like, I need this to continue, or my family will do this, and I'm sorry, I'm not available right now. She reminded people that it's perfectly okay to take time before responding to others, and that setting boundaries isn't easy, especially if you come from a dysfunctional family. She talked about how, in those families, the most toxic person, often a narcissist, will try to blur boundaries or find ways to pull you back in. And sometimes the only real solution is no contact, just cutting ties completely to protect your peace and sanity. Then someone asked if Robyn had ever actually tried reaching out to her. Remember how Robyn claimed on the show that she'd made efforts to reconnect and get the kids talking to their dad again? Well, Maddie didn't mince words. Her response, Robyn is a liar. And then Maddie ended things with a pretty sharp statement. She said, if her mouth is moving, she's manipulating. According to her, Robyn is so calculated that you don't even realize what's happening until you're completely turned around. Maddie added, truly, she's a liar to an extent I've never seen replicated. Just my personal opinion. take it or leave it. And honestly, that tracks with what a lot of people have said. I've even heard similar things from people who knew Robyn back in Montana. They described her as extremely manipulative, competitive, and emotionally controlling. Apparently, she always has to be the best, always plays the victim, and twists stories to make herself look innocent. Even her mom reportedly bought into that victim narrative when Robyn was a kid and continues to excuse her behavior. One story that's been told involves her ex-husband, Preston. Supposedly, he had feelings for Robyn's younger sister, Fawn. They never actually dated, but Robyn couldn't handle not being the center of attention. So she went after Preston herself, partly out of jealousy and competition, essentially blocking any chance of a relationship between him and Fawn. That's the level of manipulation people talk about when it comes to Robyn Brown. Later, when Robyn was on national television, she accused Preston of being abusive, even saying he had stolen her purity, and claimed she took away his parental rights, alienating him from everyone. Whether people believe that or not, the pattern of portraying herself as a victim seems consistent. Someone also asked Maddie what made her finally realize that Kody and Robyn only cared about themselves. She said it happened around 2020 when she started reading parenting books, and she never looked back. She added that her relationship with Robyn had always been rocky, but that learning about healthy parenting really opened her eyes to how toxic things had been. It's the kind of realization many people have when they become parents themselves. They start reflecting on their own childhoods and realize, oh wow, that wasn't normal. That was actually abusive. They start to see how much they were manipulated or used as pawns in their parents' drama. For years, while the family was filming the show, Kody and Robyn could control the kids and the narrative. But now that the kids are adults, learning and healing, that control is gone. And the truth is starting to surface. I really think the isolation during COVID had a huge impact on everyone in that family. Being forced apart from Kody broke the constant cycle of control and manipulation. People finally had space to think clearly, and Maddie didn't hold back when it came to Mary either. This is the same woman who once publicly called Mary her abuser. Someone asked her, "Do you talk to Mary? Were the rumors true that she was mean to all of you kids?" Maddie replied, "Mary was hard." As an adult, I can look back and see that a lot of who she is comes from her own pain. And I do believe Kody contributed to that. I believe Mary's on her own healing journey, but she was extremely harsh. I forgive her now, but she will never be allowed in my children's lives. She went on to say that people often try to excuse Mary's behavior as her just being strict during chaos, but Maddie shut that down quickly. You weren't there. You have no idea what you're talking about. She said she believes Mary's hurt and has forgiven her, but the boundary stands. No relationship with her kids. McKelty and Peden have said the same thing, that they'll never allow Mary near their children because of how she treated them growing up. Very few of the adult kids have any relationship with her, which says a lot. Fans have always been frustrated that no one comes out and says exactly what Mary did. It's always softened into things like, she was strict, or she didn't let us jump on the furniture. But based on all the stories, the yelling, shaming, and emotional cruelty, it feels like there was more going on than just being a tough parent. Many suspect the abuse was more than verbal. Mary herself came from a deeply abusive environment. Her father had multiple wives, and former members of their group have claimed that one of his wives left after he allegedly pushed her down the stairs. Others say he was physically violent and that he even hit children at school when he worked as a principal. Corporal punishment was reportedly common in that community. Stories include kids being chained to beds or hit with boards, so it's not hard to imagine that kind of behavior trickling down through generations. And honestly, if someone has been abusive to you, it makes perfect sense that you wouldn't want them anywhere near your own kids. When Maddie was asked if she'd ever reconcile with her dad, she said, "I'm not sure. I'd need more than he could give. I'm not sure I want to welcome the storm that is Kody and Robyn into my life. Our life is quiet and easy now, and I like that." She also shared that her husband, Caleb, has chronic kidney disease. His kidney function is down to 24%, and he'll likely need a transplant. Things were apparently very scary between February and May of this year. Because of that, they've decided they won't be having more kids, which is heartbreaking. Maddie said therapy has helped her a lot. She sees a professional therapist on and off, and she highly recommends it for anyone who's come from a complicated family background. When asked how accurate Sister Wives is, she said, "It's accurate according to each person's point of view. What happens really happens, but it's condensed and dramatized. Months of chaos squeezed into 14 hours with music, editing, and producer-driven storylines." Her final jab: if Kody and Robyn are talking, they're lying. So yeah, that was way more interesting than the actual episode this week. Maddie dropped some serious truth bombs. She's in therapy, she's done with Kody and Robyn's chaos, she forgives Mary, but wants nothing to do with her. And she's choosing peace for her family. Anyway, that's the real story behind all the off-camera drama. Let me know what you think in the comments, give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.